All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are competing at one of the most famous quarter-mile bull rings in the state of California, and that would be the Placerville Speedway. Welcome back to today's video. So excited to have you guys hanging out with us for this Saturday afternoon in Northern California, and we're hoping for some great action. We have made 2 appearances at this racetrack in 2022 and had great speed at both of those races. Specifically, the last time we were quick time on the night out of 35 360s, went forward in our heat race and ran top 5 in the feature. So if we can unload with that speed tonight, I'm expecting some really good results. It's a solid 95 degrees here today, so it's extremely hot. I'm sure the racetrack's gonna get pretty slick. Hopefully 2 lanes, a little bit on the bottom, a little bit on the top. We'll be able to throw some slide jobs and move around throughout the field. We're gonna get it all started though with a mud pack, then we'll be into hot laps and then into qualifying to set us up for the rest of the night. Qualifying is complete here at Placerville. Ended up 9th quick out of 31 360s. Felt like I left a little bit of time on the table. Overall, I was good in 3 and 4. That corner was pretty basic, hammer down. 1 and 2 though is tricky. There's a couple of uneven spots. It's easy to like get tight and buried in it. And I did that on my 2nd lap and I was like way slow. But still 9th quick, that's good because that positions us on the front row outside of a heat race. And if we get the jump and can win our heat, we're gonna be in the top 8 redraw, which will lock us into the first 4 rows of the feature. So that's kind of our next goal, gonna put qualifying behind us. As far as the AT&T and how my race car felt, honestly, I just feel like I have a little bit too much right rear drive. It just seems like it wants to come around the race car and the left rear is kind of like lagging back. So we're just kind of trying to balance it up and get it to where if I can get out front, I can lay down good times. And I really think it's gonna single file out if it does. Just because Placerville usually is really fast for the heat races, and instead of kind of running around the high side like we do in qualifying, everyone moves down kind of from bottom to middle. So this heat race is very important. We're gonna strap back in, quick turnaround. I think we're in the first one, so we're gonna be rolling out, and like I said, our goal is to win this. Heat races are now complete. We're 2/3 of the way through our night. Ultimately, just didn't really do my job there. Started front row outside and didn't get a good start on the first attempt and did not get a good start on the 2nd attempt. We got going so slow that by the time it was time to take off, I wasn't able to take off. And so didn't get the jump into turn 1, so was running 2nd and actually tried to move down to kind of block from anybody getting by, and it almost made me like trip on my right front, I think in the first corner. And then I was battling for 2nd, and then I was battling for 3rd, and then I fell back to 4th, and then all of a sudden I found myself on the bubble of transferring into tonight's A. So like I said, I feel like part of that heat race was on myself. I just, there's like certain simple rules you follow and like things you do and don't when you're starting, and I just let myself get in a bad spot, and then like I said, that didn't allow me to get going into turn 1. As far as our race car, I'm still feeling what I talked about in qualifying, just like too much right rear, and it's almost like we're not getting down on the left rear, and it's not driving enough still. We're really gonna try to go the direction where we were really good in the A main event here last time, and just kind of see how that goes. This is a different car than we ran Placerville, our other 2 attempts, so it's just kind of trying to find its sweet spot and get me a little bit more comfortable. I do think I need to get around the racetrack a little bit better behind the wheel, but I think we can get the car closer to get me to where I need to go to be ripping, if that makes sense. So looks like we're gonna start maybe anywhere from like 10th to 14th, so mid-pack. We're just gonna try to hang out, make the right moves, and go forward. Okay, strapping in here for 25 laps around Placerville. Just like we expected, we're rolling off from 12th, so 6th row outside starting position. We're gonna be kind of in some of the mayhem, and that's just how this place is. Like, if you're not in the first 3 rows and you kind of get some clean track, it's a lot of just like tight, cars on bottom, cars on top, guys in middle, and you just kind of have to go where the other racers aren't. We did make some changes to kind of prepare for the slicker surface that we're gonna see. I think it's gonna be a little fast for the first couple of laps, and then all the surface grip is gonna kind of blow off and it's gonna start to slow down. There is a massive cushion slash curb off of turn 2. Like, I mean, in one spot, it's gotta be 1.5 feet or 2 feet tall. I'm not even trying to exaggerate. All the videos and pictures don't even do it justice. So you're gonna kind of have to find the middle ground with that. You can't necessarily be buried in it, but you also can't be too far off of it. So it's just gonna be about finding what we have with our race car and trying to see what my car is and trying to make the best of that, whether it's better on the bottom, top, you know, and move around where everyone else also isn't racing. So a lot of different factors. Gonna strap in, head out, have some fun here around Placerville, and try to be one of the hard chargers through the field. Placerville tonight kind of kicked our butt. Started 12th there in the feature and came home 10th. Not really a whole lot to say as far as good things go. It was a win that we rolled it in the trailer, because in the past to this racetrack we've had issues where that did not occur. But we just really weren't that great, you know, and kind of all night. I feel like we were just kind of mediocre, like just average at best. Behind the wheel, I was kind of average at best. I never got going great in a good rhythm where I felt super fast. Early on in the A, I actually probably moved forward 2 or 3 spots. But I feel like our fate was kind of just sealed after the heat race. The fact that we couldn't have the track position and start up front, it's just tough when you're back there. You know, all the guys I started around, I kind of finished around. Unless you're just perfect and can maneuver and catch the right brakes, it's so hard to go forward on this tiny little bull ring. Typical Placerville though, slick to a curb with a bottom. Felt like the surface was kind of all right in the feature. Like I said, you could move around and you could pass, and maybe it was getting better as it went, but the curb was so tall down in turns 1 and 2 that it just like, you had to be careful. If you upset the curb or you upset your car, you were in big trouble. So kind of just frustrated with our night. Like I said, we definitely could have been better there in the feature. And the other mistake I made is I think I could have been more aggressive with my wing, moving it back. I probably was a little over halfway, but I needed more rear drive. I was just worried that it was going to get me so tight in the wrong spots, because that wasn't necessarily the adjustment to fix our issue of not being able to get off the corner. But this is a place I have little laps at, so it's just, you know, it's one of those things. We were just kind of hit or miss, and you know, we qualified good enough to be in a good spot for the heat, but as I mentioned, we didn't do our job in the heat. I didn't do my job in the heat, and that set us up for the rest of the night as far as making it much more difficult, and that's part of the game. So cars in the trailer, headed back to Southern Oregon. We'll do our homework and just try to keep getting better and better and finish off our season on a strong note, chasing more victories. See you guys all there, and thank you so much for your support. Deuces.